YouTube Nation, Manfit TV, aka Me TV, aka I went to a hockey game and a Roots concert broke out. I don't know, I'm just saying it happened. Look, I want to start off with the Winter Classic. I know it's first time back, and I just want to get into this. I'm telling you, I went to the Winter Classic. I want to show you guys. This is what they gave us. These are the seat warmers from the Winter Classic, okay? And also on the back, it's progressive. There's a little zipper here. It actually had hockey cards inside. All right, so I just wanted to show you guys that, I was reading your tweets and tweeting as well. Y'all guys have seen the pictures on Twitter when I was at the Classic, all right? But I want to start off with the first game of the Classic, which was the alumni game. The alumni game was amazing, all right? To see all those old players, you got to think, from a kid from where I'm from, I never got a chance to see these guys play, personally, up close. It was great to see. I always watched them on TV. It was great to see, LeClaire and Lindros and Neil Little and LaForest and Bernie Parent. God bless Bernie Parent, all right? He was out there at his age, out there saving pucks. I mean, he's diving all over the place. And, after a while, they had to pull him. Bernie pitched a shutout. There were standing ovations everywhere, guys. You have to understand. It was amazing, all right? LaForest came in, did his thing for, a period and pretty much, I won't say a half, but a quarter, all right? And then, guess what? He pitches a shutout. So Neil Little was the only goalie that gave up one goal. And then after he gave up that goal, guess what? He settled in. That was it. The Rangers didn't have anything offensively for us. They had tons of chances, though, in the alumni game. Tons of chances. It was great to see all those guys out there. I'm shocked that Mark Recchi got the ovation he did. Now, granted, it's over, because we saw what happened, with Boston, all right? We saw that. So there were people who were still mad about that, but overall, good reception from Mark Recchi, all right? But needless to say, the alumni game was amazing. I felt it was the best out of all three games in the Winter Classic, and I went to see all three games. So I did go to the Phantoms and Hershey Bears and also Flyers Rangers as well. Let's get on Flyers Rangers. Now, I want to say this because before going to the game, I was on the sub, I was on the train, all right? Rangers fans I was sitting next to, me and Rangers fans are having fun. We're talking, they were complimenting me on my Flyers jersey. We're talking back and forth because they didn't know how to get to AT&T Station. So I pretty much told them, wait, just get off when we get off, you know what I mean? And pretty much that's what they did. Very fun. It was a great atmosphere for Rangers fans. It really was. However, the game started, and everything from the first period, as we all know, first period was fine. All right, nothing happened. Second period, the Flyers went off on them, and they had the goals. All right, they had the ability to keep driving in. I put like this. Was that Lundqvist? Yeah, I told you before, that guy's a wall. If you can get to him early, you can beat him. If not, he settles in, it's over. All right, that's how he is. That's just how Lundqvist is. And I put like this. All right, because once we were up, defense once again hurt us. And I understand that Bob was starting. Now, I was happy to see that Bob started because, as we all know, Bryz his performance is horrible. It's been horrible for a while now. So once again, I talked about this before in earlier videos, how Bryz has this, this zero confidence. Well, for those who didn't know, before the Winter Classic, when they said that Bob was going to start, Bryz came out to the media and said, "Good news." He said, "I got great news and I have even better news." He says, "Good news, I'm not starting. Better news, we have a chance to win this game." You've got to be kidding me. You're a professional. You've been in this league for how many years? And yes, this is how you're acting? And I understand a lot of people are going to say, well, that's how he acts. He's just a very colorful guy. No, I'm not trying to hear it. When you're a professional, once you get between those pipes, that's it. All right? I'm not trying to hear that you don't have confidence in it. No, I told you before, this guy gets paid way too much money to act like this. And I said this in the beginning of the season, did I not? He's too busy having tours with Ben Franklin, and they're treating him like a rock star instead of settling in and working hard. That's the problem right now. It's the same problem we actually had with Leighton. Remember when we lost that Stanley Cup? What did Leighton say? I took off that play. In the Stanley Cup, you take off that play? I don't think so. All right, but whatever. Fact is, Bob deserved to start. All right, and then as we all know, even though we still lost because in the third, defense broke down again. They looked tired, believe it or not. The people didn't give Rangers their credit. The Rangers came back from 2 down, and I'm telling you now, the Rangers deserve more respect than what people are giving them. All right, and this is from a rivalry standpoint. This is from just a hockey standpoint, actually. All right, no more, fan leaning on one side and the other. All right, Rangers fans had every right to cheer. However, I will say this, Rangers fans, even though you were very classy at the game, I'm not going to bundle you all up because there were some Rangers fans there that didn't know how to act. And I'm talking about, that 40-year-old lady, this is what I'm talking about. For those who don't know, when the Rangers scored their goal, their first goal, actually, she gets up. Mind you, no one's talking to her. She gets up, runs over to a person, like just to a Philly person, and gets in their face. We scored, all in her face. Didn't even know the person. No one talked to her at all. All right? Now, this is the problem I have. I've been telling you guys before, if you're going to come to these games, you want to cheer your team? I don't have a problem with that. Not at all. But if you're going to start provoking people, then there's going to be a fight. You cannot do that. And the thing is, like I said, I'm not going to bottle all you Rangers fans up because there were actually Rangers fans. By the time this game was over, there was other Rangers fans telling her to shut up. So it wasn't just that. It was sports fans dealing with unruly sports fans. And we can't have that. And you have to understand, they're going to be around everywhere you go. Every team has them. Every city has them. I understand that. But then afterwards, what really pissed me off, because it was, like I said, it was a great game. It was great, all right? Doesn't matter who won or lost. The experience was amazing. But then what happened after the game is what really pissed me off.
This ain't gonna stop it.
If anything goes down, can I hide behind you?
Stop it! Stop it! Relax! Stop, dude! Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Come on, man! No, are you fucking kidding me? Hit me, I'm putting
First off, I'm gonna say it. He's sleep. All right, he gone. All right, but I will say, second off, that is the most disgusting, most despicable thing I have seen here in a very long time when it comes to sports. I'm just saying it is. Now I understand that other teams have it worse, and some people are saying it. It's not a big deal. I understand when you measure up other things, it's not a big deal. I will talk about that in a minute. All right. Because there's a lot of people white knighting this. There really is. Mr. Morals all of a sudden. However, I will apologize on behalf of those Philadelphians to the Rangers fans because I've done this. I did this, with Montreal fans as well 2 seasons ago when people were flattening their tires when they came here for the playoffs. All right? Rangers fans, you don't deserve that type of treatment. You don't. There's just a bunch of mad Flyers fans. Now, I will say this. For those who have not been keeping up after that video, there's been a number of videos here, interviews about what's going on in that situation from the victim. All right? Now, I will put it like this. I don't know if New York, I don't know if they're covering it like that out here. But the guy said that in the beginning, both sides were just jawing at each other. And he felt that it wasn't warranted that, it would turn into a fight. Now, I put it like this. If you listen to the beginning, the guy calls another guy an effing scumbag. Now, look, if we're talking sports talk, that's one thing. But if you're calling somebody a scumbag, those fighting words. Those are fighting words. I don't know where this is coming from where it shouldn't have escalated. Granted, it shouldn't have escalated to the point that it was a fight because the game's over. The game is over. Don't get mad. It was a great experience. You're ruining it. But I put it like this. The guy who got rocked, all of a sudden we find out he's a Marine. He fought for his country. We have this big sob story now. And now people are looking for justice. Look, last time I checked, that guy was throwing punches too. All right? And I'm not trying to hear it was out of self-defense because like they said, they started with him. They were jawing at each other. They participated. So yes, Flyers fans are wrong because that's all people see is Flyers fans are wrong for attacking a guy. But it takes both sides. It takes both sides. They admitted that they were arguing with him, and then it escalated to that. Now, the only person I felt that should have been punched throughout this whole thing, to be quite honest, is the guy who's like, are you serious, bro? You kidding me, bro? That guy, yeah, he should be punched just for saying that alone, because I put it like this, all right? Nobody talks like that here in Philadelphia, unless you're from Jersey or in New York, maybe, Long Island, maybe. That's the last time I've checked, but I mean that I've experienced that, but no one talks like that in Philly, not even South Philly, not even Italians in South Philly talk like that. Somebody's been watching too much Jersey Shore. I'll put it like that. No one talks like that, unless they've been sitting on the internet, but the fact is, this really shouldn't have happened. It makes us all look bad. It does. And it goes for Rangers and Flyers fans. And all I keep saying is, coward Flyers fans jumping the guy. No, there's more to that. There's more to it. All right, now, and we'll talk about you Philly bloggers. I had to start unfollowing people on Twitter, especially like Broad Street Hockey and all, because as you know, in Philadelphia, if you don't know, in Philadelphia, police are looking for the man who hit him. Broad Street Hockey came out and was like, you should help find this guy. It's a high, it's a matter of morals, and this should not, I'll put it this, it's unacceptable to happen, but don't act like it's the worst thing that's ever happened. And I put it like this because when I read that, oh, the guy was hurting, and then they're like, we really need to find this person. You should help out because people were saying it's not that big of a deal. And they said, well, he was in the hospital. I put it like this, all right? In Philadelphia last year, we had about 300 to 10 homicides by handgun, all right? 305, 310. I have to find an article for it, all right? But I'll put it like this. They only found about 108 to 110 people. That's right. Those people who caused all those crimes, they didn't even find half of them. So for you to sit here all of a sudden and get all on your white knight and your high horse and Mr. Morals and talk about how this is a really big deal. So where were you the other 305 homicides? Where were you then? See, this is the problem I have with these Philly bloggers, these media guys, and all of a sudden trying to make it like this is a big travesty. All right? So many deaths have happened in this city last year that pretty much go cold. All right? They never say anything about that. Never at all. All right? But as soon as somebody's wearing a Flyers jersey, another guy's a Rangers jersey, and they start fighting, now it's a big deal. Because now it involves them. It doesn't involve you. If you're not going to step up for all of it, shut up. That's how it comes down to. I'm sorry. Sorry, that's just how I feel, all right? Now, I also want to say, for those who don't know, last year, I keep thinking, earlier in the season, last year, for those who don't know, Wayne Simmonds was had bananas thrown at him when he was in Montreal, right? Okay, now I want to talk about this, because for those who know the fan, they tried to say it was a big racial issue, the fan was throwing bananas. Well, guess what? They found the fan now who threw the bananas, and guess what type of punishment that fan got? A $200 fine. Yeah, a $200 fine. I thought that it would be a lifetime ban, but then again, if you think about it, if the NBA didn't ban that guy for starting the Artest fight, throwing the water at him, I don't see this guy getting banned. So pretty much the price of an admission for a good seat at an NHL game, maybe front row, that's all he was fined. The NHL didn't ban him from the games anymore, so he can come back anytime he wants. As long as he has like $200, he can throw more bananas at black players. Yeah. That's the message they're sending right now. And I want to talk about this a little bit more because last week, for those who don't know, a Panthers player actually used a racial slur against, PK Subban. That's right. Yeah. It's starting to get serious. This is the second racial incident now we've seen this year. Or should I say once this year, but we'll say second this season. Hockey fans, understand what is going on. Let's say I'm going to find the links before I put up this video. Because, to be quite honest, I've been really busy this week. I really have. Even today, I'm very busy, so I'm just trying to get through this, all right? Now, I need to move on, hockey fans. I want to talk about football. Eagles, we got to talk about it. Guys, Eagles fans, look, let's get something straight. We all understand what happened with Andy Reid, right? We know that this guy should not be back. Jeffrey Lurie, this is not an Andy Reid problem anymore. It's a Jeffrey Lurie problem. Understand that Jeffrey Lurie came out in his conference, right? And that's what it was, really, press conference. And the first 15 minutes, he gives you every reason why he should fire Andy Reid for the first 15 minutes, and guess what happens? Doesn't fire him. He says he's going to stay. Now, here's the thing, because they gave us a bunch of BS excuses on why Andy Reid should stay. And so, well, the last couple of games, they've been clicking and doing really well. Understand, you found fool's gold. That's what you did, all right? And then they say, well, Andy Reid's family is so amazing. They love Philadelphia. Are we supposed to forget that Andy Reid's sons went to jail for drugs? One guy got caught smuggling drugs up his ass in jail. And all of a sudden, we're supposed to forget this? He has to keep his son on the sidelines with him so he can stay out of trouble. I don't understand where this amazing family comes from. But you know what? I don't want to hear any more excuses. Reid should have went. But all the fans that wanted Reid to go, and media guys are saying, Reid should have went. Players came out and disrespected all of us again. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Evan Mathis calls every fan and any person who thought that Andy Reid, that's right, should have been let go, are idiots. Don't believe me? Let's look at the clip.
And also this tweet from left guard Evan Mathis, who you recall with Jason Kelsey had some issue with some fans earlier this season. He tweets this: if you wanted Andy Reid gone, you're an idiot. Evan Mathis, 69, that's his Twitter address. He'll be calling in a couple of minutes. But let's get on the line right now. Eagles left guard Evan Mathis. Evan, you wear your heart on the sleeve. We know your sleeve. We know that. You play with a lot of passion. I'm just wondering, you're calling all of us idiots if we think that Coach Reid should be taking his leave.
Yeah, I think I said that, didn't I?
You sure did. But I mean, you realize a significant portion of the fandom, if not the media, feels that way. You don't care that you're biting the hand that feeds you as it were.
I'm just the hand that feeds me is Andy Reid. All right, I'm kidding. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Sorry, lost for a second. Yeah, I think the hand that feeds me is Andy Reid. He does a great job. He's going to do a great job. I just really wanted to express that they haven't seen, the fans haven't seen what it's like elsewhere in this league. I've heard a lot. I know the passion is there, but myself, this is my fourth team. I've seen how other teams work. I've heard horror stories from other players, and just seeing how the way things are done Andy Reid does in the right way.
So Eagles fans, I pose the same question to you that I pose to everyone who's backing this type of behavior, all right? After this season, all the players have disrespected you, all right? The front office does not care what you think of letting Andy Reid go. After all the problems that we have seen this season between each other when it comes to fans or players and fans, how can you still support this as a man, as a person of integrity? How can you support this behavior? How can you? I want to know how. I mean, I understand people are going to watch the game. I understand that. But these players don't care. They think that you have it too easy. That's right. As a fan, you don't know what it feels like to be on the other side. That's what pretty much Evan Mathis has said as of late. It's a joke. It is. How can you even... Eagles fan, you know, and other football fans, I understand that you have your problems too in your team. But the Detroit Lions, Detroit knows how it feels. And for those who didn't see what happened after the playoff game this week, this little tweet came out. That is uncalled for. Fans, understand, it doesn't matter what team, what city you're in. Understand, you pay for all this. You pay for the tickets to watch them play. You watch them on TV. You pay for the merchandise. You don't let nobody talk to you like that. What is wrong with them? See, it's becoming an epidemic. And these coaches aren't doing their job and making them shut up. That's the problem, all right? Guys, I cannot tell you, look, and I want to talk about this because, look, just because you have the ability to tweet doesn't mean you need to all the time. You understand that, right? And the thing is, I want to talk about this tweet real quick because I got to go back to the Eagles fans. I have to, because you guys have been a joke as of late. And it's not all of you. It's not. I'll say that. But majority of you have made us look bad. Now I can understand why all these people outside of Philadelphia make fun of us and bag on us because you give us a bad name. So I'll explain, all right? For those who don't know, at the last Eagles game, all right, fans were coming out and apologizing that they weren't watching the game because some idiot came out and said, if you're not watching the game when it's on, you're not a fan. You should take in priorities. That's garbage, all right? I'm sorry, but on Sunday, when I'm out there doing my documentary for the city, because you're not doing anything for the city, and I have to be at certain places at certain times because of the fact that I don't want to, you know, disrupt or make angry certain people, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not walking around with bodyguards, all right? I'm doing this all on my own with a camera in bad neighborhoods, in high drug-infested neighborhoods. Don't tell me because I'm not watching the game when it's on that I'm not a fan. Are you paying my bills? No. I wish someone would come in here and sitting here and tell me you're not watching the game, you're not a real fan. I wish you would go to someone else's house and walk in that you don't know, that you walk in and say, you know what, you're not watching the Eagles game. I'm going to turn it on. Don't tell me what I can and can't watch, all right? That's a joke. But you fans are still flip-flopping and still fickle. And I put it like this, because of the fact that when the Eagles game was on, the last one, all right, wide receiver 10, my God, wide receiver 10 scored. And what happened? All of a sudden, all the fans that hated him before that, all of a sudden love him again. They love him all of a sudden. Yeah, let's celebrate the Eagles' non-playoff season with wide receiver 10's 4th touchdown of the year. You got to be kidding me, right? Come on, man. Oh, what Jason Babin was doing, he's close to the record. I don't care. It didn't help any. They were meaningless sacks. It got us nowhere. You should not be putting him in the same name, in the same company as Reggie White, Clyde Simmons, Michael Strahan. Come on, man. Get out of here with that. What's wrong with you? How many tackles did he have off the ball? All right, how many plays were blown on his side all season? Come on, man. I'm not trying to hear this. But yet you fans want to keep buying into this company propaganda, because that's what it is. After that press conference, it's pretty much propaganda at this point, all right? And you're selling something, and they know, because media's come out and said it too, all right? Because Jeffrey Lurie is trying to sell something that's not going to work. He's trying to sell an idea or an excuse that people already have their mind made up on. It's just not going to work. But it doesn't matter. I'm moving on. As I want to talk about more football, I want to say congratulations to the New York Giants for spanking the Falcons. That's right. I also want to say congratulations to New Orleans for beating Detroit. Like I said, Detroit, I really feel bad for you right now, especially after that tweet. But they're going to move on. New Orleans is going to play the 49ers, and which they probably will beat the 49ers. You shouldn't be sleeping on the 49ers right now. Their defense is really good. They are, all right? If they can establish their defense early and establish Frank Gore in a running game that'll open up their pass, they have a good chance of beating New Orleans. As we know, if you've watched New Orleans throughout the season, there's times where they look great on defense and there's times where they just look piss poor. They just do, all right? That's just the facts. But I want to say that also moving on, The Giants are going into Green Bay, which will be a classic matchup due to the fact that these two teams have some serious history. Also, on the AFC, Tim Tebow and his Broncos. We have to talk about this. I know. Let's talk about this, all right? I'm not going to talk about it too much because you already know how I feel about Tim Tebow. However, it seems like these days, anybody who criticizes Tim Tebow has to use this line, all right? I don't hate Tim Tebow. You guys know this on the show already. I don't hate Tim Tebow, and I wish him luck every time. But it seems like anybody who says anything remotely poor about Tim Tebow, all right, or just nothing that's going to pretty much blow, smoke up his ass, they're labeled haters. I don't understand this. Tim Tebow threw the ball 10 times, and granted, when he was throwing, he got some big yards out of it. But understand, that last play in overtime, understand this, it was a 10-yard pass, and if that guy doesn't put his arm out to stiff arm his defender, guess what? He's being tackled. The guy was right on him. It was an individual effort, and I'll say this, by the receiver. Understand that Tim Tebow is not winning these games on his own. He is not blocking for himself. He is not passing to himself. The Broncos deserve more respect than that. So when every time the Broncos win, it should be the Broncos win. Instead, it's Tim Tebow. But when the Broncos lose, then it's everyone but Tim Tebow is at fault. I don't understand this. And it's funny because the fans have been flip-flopping for about 3 weeks now because they've been on a losing streak, and all of a sudden, because there was reports that Brady Quinn was going to get the start if he didn't play well, all right, if he didn't practice well, and that if he played bad in the game, they were going to activate Brady Quinn. So understand, then all of a sudden, after the win it was, Brady Quinn didn't have that many reps, and all of a sudden, yeah, way to backtrack. I'm not trying to hear it. The Broncos brass know what they're doing. They do, all right? But Tim Tebow, I want to say congratulations. Steelers fans are mad. They're mad, but you know what? You guys, you had, what, almost seven guys that were injured? And, I put it like this. Roethlisberger, it wasn't 100%, but the Steelers still had a chance. Why? Because the Steelers organization know how it's done. It doesn't matter who's out there playing. If you get paid, you better play to your maximum potential. That's what it comes down to, all right? But they lost. So, congratulations, Broncos. You have the Patriots next week. I don't see that going very well. I'm just being honest. I don't see that going very well. Like I said, when they played them in the regular season, what did I say to you guys in the comments? I said that if they strike fast and they can keep consistency, they have a chance of beating New England. But the thing is, they struck fast and then stopped. They backpedaled, and New England just kept going, and just that was it. Tebow had his best performance in New England. I mean, when he played New England, but there's a reason why Tom Brady is as good as he is. All right. Despite all the crying and the dancing that we've seen him do and the long hair and all that stuff, despite all that, Tom Brady is still the guy, whether you like it or not. All right? Now, I want to move on because some of these I'll put it like this. Some of you football fans have been, for those who haven't been watching Twitter, all right, Giants fans are still arguing with Eagles fans. I know I keep going back. Like I said, it's been a couple weeks, but Giants fans still arguing with Eagles fans. I don't understand why. The Eagles fans are saying your one-and-done Giants is done. Well, the Giants won. They're not one-and-done anymore. You got to give them their credit. The only people I hate on the Giants at this point is Weatherford, what he said about the team. All right, it's always funny to watch Eli play. It really is. All right, and I'm not a fan of Justin Tuck that much because of what happened, when they came here in Philly as well. All right. Other than that, do what you got to do. I'm not mad. What to be mad for? And Giants and Jets fans are arguing with each other. The Jets didn't make the playoffs, but Giants did at the time, a couple weeks ago, and they were fighting with each other. Why are Giants and Jets fans? You should be happy one of your team got in, but they're still fighting on each other. It makes no sense. And did anyone see that Jets commercial with with Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez and all? I'm thinking, see, that's the reason. You're too busy doing all these commercials. You're too busy, whatever. And what happened with San Antonio Holmes with the fighting on the sidelines? Yeah, it's time for him to go. It's time for him to go. It really is. And that's how I see things. I want to move on. MMA. That's right. For those who don't know, Brock Lesnar lost to Overeem, and as we all know, Lesnar came out and said he was going to retire. Now, we don't know if that was a spur-of-the-moment thing or he's really committed to this, because we all know that he has some problems with health, but that's not the point. If he retires, I have to ask you pro wrestling fans, do you think he's going to come back? I'm just wondering, all right? Now, I also want to talk about pro wrestling real quick. I know this is about my second time ever talking about pro wrestling. Kevin Nash has offered the Ultimate Warrior, whose real name is now Warrior. This guy takes it to the extreme, apparently. He offered him out in a real wrestling match. That's right. He wants to get in the cage or whatever and get it in with Ultimate Warrior. Now, for those who don't know, I'm waiting to hear the response because for those, like I said, those who don't know, the Ultimate Warrior has his own YouTube channel where he just rants. he just goes off, and he's still crazy. There's something wrong with him. You understand? Just not too long ago, Ultimate Warrior was kicked out of a college because he had anti-gay remarks to the college. And then here up in Broad Street at the FYE, he was kicked out for using racial remarks towards people. So something is wrong with the Ultimate Warrior. And for him to get in the ring with the man twice his size that's still active, there's going to be a problem with that. Now, also, I want to talk about MMA a little bit more, because Krys Barch has been, tested positive for steroids. Now, a lot of people were saying, well, now we can understand why she's just killing everybody in the female division. And it wasn't just that, because for those who know, Krys Barch was going out in the street and fighting people. All right? So she was looking for competition, but she was testing positive for steroids. And she's not the only one. Her title has been stripped. All right? But she wasn't the only one, because I believe a couple, not too long ago, Overeem was also tested. I think he got tested. Like he tested positive 3 times for steroids as well. So I understand, you know, he's off it now, I'm sure, but and Sonnen, but that's not the point. All right. Anyway, she was stripped of her title, and if we're going to start stripping people for titles for using steroids, then that means a lot of people should be stripped right now. All right. First off, Ryan Braun, you should be stripped of the MVP. All right, NL MVP. It's crazy. All right, and MLB. This is where they screwed themselves, because the MLB came out and said, you know, people, great individuals like Ryan Braun are the reason why, clean players are the reason why the MLB still thrives. And now he's given a 50-game suspension. Apparently, the MLB hasn't learned from this. This punishment system that you're giving is not working, because players are still doing it. It's time to start banning players. All right, 50 games here, 100 games or whatever there, it's not enough. Why do you think Manny retired? Because if Manny retires, there's a good chance he can come back anytime he wants to, or go to a different league, all right, and make money and still play under his guidelines. He caught, how many times was he caught? But he still kept trying it. You have to understand, guys, that every PED, I want to talk about this, PEDs in general are an advantage. And it doesn't matter what PED. We can talk about caffeine all day. That's a PED, all right? Energy drinks, PED. All right? It depends, you have to understand, it depends on what the organization feels is illegal and what's not. What's legal and what's not illegal. That's all it comes down to. All performance enhancing. Cortisone shots, PED. Like, anything that you can think of pretty much is a PED when it comes to these things. If anything that helps a player, then that's a PED. All right? That's what it comes down to. So, it doesn't matter. Anyways, I want to move on. Basketball. Guys, I see that Kobe Bryant is still trying, all right? But it doesn't matter, especially with his injury. You know what? The Lakers right now need someone else. It's just not going to work. I really don't think it's going to work. Then Dwight Howard is in play still. After all the talks we've heard, Dwight Howard is still in play with the Lakers, the Nets, and someone else. I think it's Golden State, is it? Is it Golden State? Yeah, Golden State. All right, so anyways. But the Sixers. I want to talk about Golden State because I'm still waiting for the Sixers to trade Iggy for Ellis, and we all know that, but I don't know if Ellis was traded or not. He's not, I don't see him out there on the court, so I haven't kept up with Golden State Warriors. So Golden State fans, please let me know if Ellis is still on the team. I knew there was a lot of trade rumors as of late of getting him out of there because he wanted to leave. I don't know if he's been traded yet. I have no idea. Last I heard, Mark Jackson nullified the deal. That's the last I heard, all right? And if anyone's been keeping up with Iguodala, not doing much. On Saturday, when they played Toronto, I understand there's been flashes of how many points he's put up, but even the media said it doesn't. This is the funny part. This is CSN. This is why you can't trust CSN, all right? Even though Iguodala is not having a good game points-wise, his defense can win games. Nah, not in basketball, all right? And first off, you can't make that statement when you up 20, 30 points against the Raptors already, all right? Because the Raptors suck. I'm sorry, Toronto, but they suck. You guys know this, all right? But, I mean, seriously, when you have Bargnani, and the thing is, he's shooting all of the first half, almost up to almost halftime, he doesn't knock down anything. And, I mean, he's wide open, too. He's got wide open shots. No one's contesting him, and he still can't knock it down. He needs to stop shooting. I don't want to hear that he had a bad shooting night, all right? When you're that wide open, you knock it down. It's that simple. It's the same thing with the Sixers defense. Even though they're being more physical, Evan Turner is being more aggressive. A lot of guys are being more aggressive, but defensively, they're not. I understand they're still stepping up. But one Jody Meeks, that's right. I understand you guys like him from an offensive standpoint, but his defense is horrible. All right, you can get a 10-year-old to get past him. All right, there's no way you should be defending a guy 3-4 feet off the ball so he can knock down a shot. That's just not going to work. It's not. You have to play up on him. Don't give him any breathing room as far as I'm concerned. That's how defense is played. Now, if they're in the box, then you're going to have a problem. Especially as small as Jody Meeks is, you have to keep him up top. But when you're doing rotations and you're having all these, because it's pretty, you know how NBA is. They don't do really that many zones. So when you see a zone in the NBA like we saw last season, everyone's like, wow, it's a zone. It's pretty much man-to-man. So you just got to follow your man. Or when you get into that change, that crossover, you switch off to other men if it helps you more. All right, so there's going to be mismatches any way you see it. That's part of basketball, X's and O's. But Jody Meeks is horrible on defense. You need to find, so either he needs extra practice on defense, or you just need to bring him in as a spot shooter. All right, that's pretty much what it is. And the Sixers, I understand that you're winning right now. We got 4 or 5 game win. Your 4 or 5 game wins. That's more than what you had last season. All right, you had what? You were 3-13 last season, and then you came back to to get over that hump, and you had that celebration and everything. And now it seems like every time you win a game, you got to have a celebration. Now look, I want to talk about this because the CEO of the Sixers came out and said that he wants you Sixers fans to vote for Lou Williams already. This was a couple games ago. To vote already to put him in the NBA All-Star game. No. All right. You're 4 or 5 games in. This is what he said. He was 4 or 5 games in. You're not going to vote a guy 4 or 5 games in. You should already know a lot of people are going to vote for established players. All right. And I understand the fan vote. The fan vote is kind of skewed. I understand why. All right. But you can rely on those players to put up points. All right. And the thing is, he goes on to say that in February is the All-Star game, and that's why you should start voting now. Well, it's not our fault that you had a short season. All right, that's not our fault. So you want us to judge off of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games that someone needs to go to the All-Star game? I don't think so. And the thing is, the Sixers, I understand you're winning. I'm happy that you're winning, but you really haven't played a contending team because now they're ranked, which makes no sense. They're ranked on ESPN right now 7th in the power rankings. That's right. That means nothing. You haven't really played that much of a contender, and the contenders that you have played, like the Blazers, you have lost to. So I don't know. You have to start beating these contending teams, and I put it like this, because the media's, we're 1.5 games up from Boston. I don't care. Boston's played contending teams. We haven't. All right? It's really that simple. Now, when you put them up against a good team, and the Sixers can consistently keep pressing like the way they are, and they keep being aggressive, then I'll buy into it. But right now, with what you have, since you have not made any moves, and the biggest thing you had all offseason is to vote for a mascot, nah. That's not enough. You beat Detroit, okay. Seriously, you beat the Raptors. Like I said, you beat Golden State, was probably the only contending team, and you were down in that game too. And you were down in the Detroit game at one point. So I like the resiliency to see come back, but you can't get down by so many points like that and then have to force a comeback. You should be pressing all day. And Foreign says, how can you press all day? It's not them. They're human. They get paid to do this. They are supposed to be in top athletic shape. If they're not, then guess what? There's a problem. Someone's either not taking their game seriously or there's something on the coaching. It's the same reason why I had a problem with Evan Turner going back down to the college level to work on the shooting when you have professionals who can help you with that. And you're getting paid a professional salary. That's the problems I have with it. It's little things like that. I'm just saying. All right? But they look pretty good. I will be watching the game tonight because it is fun to watch the basketball games. Like I said, I understand that the weather here is really weird. One day it's super cold. It's like the high was 29 last week. And today it's like 40-something. They're talking about by the end of the week it'll be up in the 60s. I don't know if that's going to change. And that was on Saturday. It was 60. So people was out balling. But you have to understand, a lot of these places around here are shutting down for indoor basketball. I've been doing more ice skating, and playing hockey than actual basketball. And that's a shame because I usually play basketball. I at least get basketball in at least once a week now, but I used to play 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a week, depending on my schedule. So I'm just saying that the basketball places are closing up, which is another reason why I'm doing this, documentary. There's no reason for these places to close up. You have to understand, Philadelphia is a huge basketball city. Why not take advantage of that? And I talked to the CEO not too long ago on Twitter, and, saying, because he said that, he was getting all these things, in a row, ducks in a row. And I'm going to talk about probably a little bit in the documentary as well, and how much money he's spending on entertainment for the fans, to try to get the fans to come out instead of doing the obvious thing and trying to go into these neighborhoods and work, build some type of relationship. That's how you get people to come out and stay. Not, we got you for one game and then you're going to leave. No, that's not how it works. But it seems like all these business guys, they have all this money. You can't tell them anything. But they make the worst possible decisions with their money. Seriously, you think if I'm coming to see a basketball game, oh, we hired some Broadway staff to do the lighting. You think I care about that? I will. If there's someone out there playing right now, if there's a big game going outside right now, I will go outside and watch them play and sit on the side and watch them, just like this. All right? Because of the love of the sport, not because the love of professionals or the love of entertainment. Even though the Sixers dancers are still, my God, they're still great. But that's guys, you have to understand, when you love the game that much, you're going to dedicate it. You're going to dedicate yourself. It's sports in general. I said that's why when I talk, I don't just talk about professional sports. I said when an athlete, professional athlete trashes you, who are they? They're nobody. I can go right down here and watch a sport. I can watch somebody go play hockey. I can watch someone play football or basketball. Because it's the love of the sport. That's why. But it seems like a lot of people are only stuck on the professionals. Guess what? That's going to change. Anyways, guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. It's been fun. I'm out.